Okay, quick video, my loves. I was watching Pirates of the Caribbean. This is Dead Men Tell No Tales. So as always, sending you guys peace, love, blessings, and abundance. But I want to get right into it as always. Watching it, and also because I have been taking versus via YouTube Brother Panic's classes and talking about the occult and talking about the Kabbalah and talking about our subconscious mind. And in watching this movie, it just showed me that it is always subconscious programming, them trying to get you to choose a side, good or bad, left or right, Democrat or Republican. And that is because they are operating using the tree of fucking life, which is the front of the tree. That's the light side, even and it's excluding the dark side. It's literally making you try to stay in the tree of life. And the tree of life represents humanity. And so what they are doing is they want you to either stay on the path of the left or the path of the right. And what that does is that makes you continue to repeat this cycle of what we call humanity. So you keep incarnating. And what we're actually supposed to be doing is following the middle, which is the path to your divinity. It's the path going from Malkuth to Keter. It is the path going from Makith, Yeshad or Yesad, however you want to pronounce that, to Teferet, to Doth, to Ketha. That's literally, I just said 4 Sephiroths. So if you're actually following the 4 Sephiroths, then you are walking the correct path. And it's not saying that we all haven't dipped into the left side or the right side, because that is a part of humanity. You might get caught up in the fact thinking that you're supposed to operate on one spectrum or the other, but that is the illusion, that is the Maya, that is the veil of Isis. That is not what we're supposed to be truly doing. When you get into this human form, you think you're supposed to be human, and you start operating on this human level, especially in this day and time, because in this day and time, everybody's so caught into humanity, and humanity is bestiality. It is literally living in your lowest form. So you don't want to be human, and you have to realize that, especially as a melanated being, what they call a black person, you're not from this motherfucker. You are a cosmic being. You are infinite being. You are immortal. So there is no such thing as living this particular life in this human form and it being an end once this human form ends. That is just you actually realizing that when you're actually born into this earth, that's your death. You're born into death, because this whole plane is death. That's why they have motherfucking polarities. That's why they have good and bad. That's why they have birth and death. That's why they have man and woman. That's why they have, everything is dual. There is no such thing as there's no such thing as oneness on this plane. That's why you have all these different motherfucking religions that derive from the oneness. So when you even look at it from that aspect, this motherfucker is confusion. This motherfucker is poison, to be honest, because the human existence is to separate. It's because we were created separate that we start to, excuse me, we start to identify with our separateness. Okay? So, the movie just made me realize that when it comes to the tree of life, it actually just, my higher self just relayed a message to me that we have to remain steadfast in walking the path in the motherfucking middle. It's like in a circus when they're walking the tightrope and they're staying balanced. It is the motherfucking balance between that tree of life. And in order to truly tap into it, as Brother Panic is saying, which is what I've been working on, that's why I haven't really given a fuck about the videos on YouTube, is connecting to the Qliphoth, which is the back of the motherfucking tree, which is your shadow, which is the dark side that they try to scare you from. Because from the dark, in the dark is where the light comes from. From the dark, there is light. That's why they say everything in the dark has to be brought into the light, because it starts with the darkness. You start in your womb with your mother. That's the motherfucking darkness. There is no such thing as dark coming from light. There's no such thing. Even when you're in a dark room, you turn on the light in order to see. So that's really the concept. Your subconscious mind, your soul is in the darkness, and you turn on the light on certain things in order for you to see it and be able to get knowledge on that subject, or get a realization on that subject, or to grow in that subject, or to transform on that subject. So that's really all I wanted to say. This is a pretty short video. I just wanted to express myself on that because I am in my Transformation Central, like Princess of the Frog, Transformation Central. Transformation Central. I'm even shooting a video in the motherfucking dark because I'm watching a movie. I have a candle lit and I really didn't feel like turning on the motherfucking light because who gives a fuck? This video is about the darkness and the importance of the darkness, so it makes sense to shoot it in the darkness. So get to the point where you don't identify yourself with a left or right. I even made tuna fish today for my father because I came back here for a motherfucking reason, because I was caught up in the humanity of looking at my consciousness, and my higher self had to show me and bring me back down to size and say, hey boo boo, you are walking a surface level of your consciousness. Yeah, you're tapping into some deep shit at certain times, but at the same time, the level that you're at, you're not at the 90 to 95% of where you need to be. The tithes that you're still paying to this humanity shit is too much. So you need to get to the point where you're paying 10 to 5% of tithes. And I give shout out to Brother Panic because he talks about that when it comes to the fact that they talk about how most humans only operate from 5% or 10% of their brain. That's because you're actually paying 90% tithes to the 12 zodiacs, or to the 12 hours in a motherfucking day, or the 24 hours in a day, I should say, or 12 hours in a clock is what you're doing. And what honestly we've all been doing. So yeah, I let go of a physical job in slavery. But what does any of that matter if I'm still operating in my mental state, in my mind, in the cycles of time? And what it does is when you start walking the Sephirah, when you start walking the tree of life from that middle point, you are then becoming to a point where you're not tapped into the cycle of time. You have now graduated and elevated yourself. So you're a true motherfucking Mason. You're a true motherfucking Mason. And you're no longer tied to this earthly realm. You're just that's where the saying comes from. You are in the earth, or you're in the world, but you're not of the earth. So you're in this earthly realm, but you're not of it anymore, because you have now elevated to the level of your God state, to the level of being going from a 7 and operating in only going in between your 7 chakras, mainly your lower chakras, to being elevated to being on the law of 3, which is also going into the law of Jehudi, or the principles of Jehudi, where you're not operating on the law of polarity or the laws of duality. You now are operating on the levels of 3, which is the first set of Sephiras, or the first triad of Sephiras on the tree of life, where you're operating truly as the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, as they want to call it in Christianity. That's the true meaning of it, is for you to get to the point where you are actually operating in the reality and not the reflections of that motherfucker. Because most people are operating in the reflections, and most people are operating at the very bottom, which is Malkuth. And that is what my higher self has shown me as I have been doing my research, because I had started questioning myself, like, what the fuck am I doing? Yeah, I'm recording these YouTube videos. Yeah, I am working on myself, and I haven't worked a job or anything like that, or worried about money or anything like that. And but seriously, like, Elisa, what the fuck? What is the end game? What are we trying to get to? The point that I want to be at is the point where I am tapped into my motherfucking subconscious mind, and I am no longer at all swayed by the left or the motherfucking right. So I really just wanted to get that out and share that with you guys, because that is, you know, an epiphany that came to me. So I just wanted to bliss your lives with that. And, you know, for those of you that connect to it, you know, definitely I know that the message was meant for you. However, if it doesn't connect to you, is no reason to like feel any type of way, like to get into that law of polarity of liking or disliking anything, because that is the law of polarity. That means that you are operating in your humanity, because you feel a need to like feel a like or a dislike about something, when really and truly it is supposed to tap into your true self so you can become an illuminated being. And an illuminated being is your God self. And in your God self, you don't look at somebody as being right or wrong. You realize that person is operating in their humanity. Okay, so it's to get out of the human bullshit and allow that human bullshit to only operate at a very minimal level of your existence on this plane. Because it's an understanding that as long as you are in a human body, that human self is going to come out, because these cells in this body are attached to being a human. They are part of being a human. So that's even why I had tuna fish when I made that for my Father's Day, because I said, you know what, I've been doing this vegan thing, and it was like my higher self was saying, you're so tied to this vegan, you're so tied to this label. You say you're not tied to labels, but show me you're not tied to a label. Eat that tuna fish. Eat some eggs. And so I've had eggs and I've had tuna. And to think about the fact that I haven't had it in over almost 2 years, I haven't eaten any type of meat. To finally like to even eat that was to prove that I wasn't so tied to the motherfucking humanity. It's not to say that most of my diet probably won't be quote unquote vegan or no meat, but it's to show that I'm not so tied into a label or a left or a right side. Vegetables versus meat. You know what I'm saying? Everything is what's beef. Beef is when you know, nigga. Like when you really think about that shit. When you really think about that shit, when you truly, that shows that you are elevating to different levels. Because I remember listening to people like Universal Frequencies and Bobby Hemmett talking about, oh, you know, because Bobby Hemmett used to talk about, I used to be vegan, but, you know, later on I got that shit don't matter. What he meant was that all is mine. That is the first law of Jehudi. All is motherfucking mine. So whatever a man think of, thou shall he be. So if I think that meat is going to kill me, then fucking meat will kill me. And bottom line is, this body is meant to die. This body is not meant to stay here. It's not meant to be preserved and to, you know, bask in everything. However, while we're here, yes, we're going to partake in certain things. Doesn't mean that now I'm a meat eater. It just means that I have to incorporate that at this point in time, or level that I am in my consciousness, to prove to myself, to my higher self, that I'm not so caught up in humanity, and I'm not allowing my ego or humanity to put a certain type of box on what the fuck consciousness is. That's what humanity does. It boxes everything in. It says, oh, well, you gotta be a vegan because you're conscious. Oh, you gotta dress this way because you're conscious. No, bitch. I don't have to do anything because I'm so, quote unquote conscious. Only thing I fucking have to do is be my authentic fucking self. Be who I truly am. And not only that, tap into my true self, my higher self, and live in that motherfucker and thrive and wear that motherfucking crown proudly. Like, it reminds me of the Biggie poster. I remember when I watched the movie, TV show, what is this TV show called? One of those black superheroes. Luke Kane. Or Luke something. Y'all know what I'm talking about on Netflix. But he had Luke Cage, that's it. And he had the crown tilted to the side. Biggie in that picture. Bitch, that's what you're supposed to do. Tilt your motherfucking crown to the side and be who the fuck you are, no matter what people judge you on. Okay? Be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Know yourself and know your motherfucking worth. I'm going to end a video on that note. I appreciate you guys for listening. I'm going to keep growing and glowing the motherfucking up and tapping into my subconscious mind, because that's all that really matters. Tapping into your dark side, motherfuckers. The dark forces, because that's what's going to save you from this bitch, okay? So, I love you guys. And peace, blessings, and abundance. And also love, my guys.